Hi, we're here today with Jessica Janniere, the founder of Look Up and Beyond, and we're here to talk about her up-and-coming book, My Colored World. Jessica, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Good.
How are you?
Why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself? What's your background?
Well, my background is I was born in Germany. I started on a farm in a small town called Tiefenbach. I lived there for about 6 years. I lived with my grandmother, who I call my Oma. And during that time, while I was living with my Oma, my mom remarried, and about 85, we came to the U.S. We went back to Germany for a short period, then came back to the U.S. in 86 permanently.
Okay.
And by that time, I had a stepsister and a stepbrother.
Okay.
And we moved to Queens, New York.
Oh, wow. So from a small town to Queens, New York. How was that for you?
It was a very interesting transition, a couple of different reasons. Number one, I didn't know the language. I didn't speak English, and I ended up having to start school here in Queens, and I ended up going to an all African American school in Queens, and that brought some challenges, as you can imagine. And my stepfather was actually an African American, so my siblings were biracial, and so that created a little confusion for me because I was just brought into this new environment and just kind of felt out of place for a really long time and faced a lot of challenges from that.
Yeah, especially. And how old were you?
By that time, I was about 7 years old.
Oh, wow. So very young. Okay.
So I was pretty young. And then we moved to Far Rockaway, Queens. And that's where I spent the rest of my childhood, my teen, and a few of my young adult years there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what would you say makes you you? What makes Jessica Jessica?
I think it's a few different things. I think one of the things that really makes me me is that I'm a very driven person. I do not like to stay at one level. I always feel like I want to grow, I want to become more, I want to experience more. I think it's a lot of it had to do with just being in a very dysfunctional home, just not wanting to become a product of my environment. So that kind of drove me to always search for more.
Okay.
And I think that the book captures that, this young woman just searching for more.
Okay. You say searching because it's interesting because I know that your website and it definitely talks about that. So they connect.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
They do.
Did you draw some of the things that, is there some comparisons or some similarities that you drew from the website and the different motivational things that you talk about it within the book as well?
Yeah, definitely. The concept of the website is Look Up and Beyond. And the idea came from just needing to look up and beyond my past and my current circumstances. I think in life, most of us are thrown these situations that try to wipe us out. And it can be anything from the death of a family member to financial hardship to coming out of an abusive relationship. Just life has a way of trying to knock the wind out of us, and I've learned that in order to really be successful, we need to look up and beyond our past and our current circumstance. So it's definitely connected. The book just captures the journey of that, of what this young woman had to endure and grow through to get to where she is today.
And to be able to see beyond.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow. So yes, let's get to that. Well, we're really here for the book. We want to get all the juicy details. So let's just start with the title. It's very interesting, My Colored World. So where did that come about from, and what significance does it have?
Yeah, My Colored World. It's a very interesting title. The concept came from when I was in college. I was taking a sociology class, and I was 22 years old, 23 years old, and the assignment was to write a 4-page essay about culture and how your culture has had an impact on your life. And I had to use sociology terms. Now, long story short, I was very intimidated by that because having grown up in pretty much a predominantly all-black community, going to all-black schools, and being raised in a predominantly all-black home, I didn't feel that I really had a culture.
Okay.
Even though I was born in Germany, and by origin, that was my nationality. I did not relate to my German culture. And I felt very confused about just these experiences. And I said, how do I articulate that without sounding crazy? And it was very intimidating. But I wrote the paper and I got an A++.
Wow.
And my professor, she was an African American woman, and she was very intimidating because she seemed she was very Afrocentric. But when she read the paper, she loved it, and she commended me, and she said, you really need to write more about this here.
Oh, so that's where it started.
That's where it started, yes. And here a few years later, as I write the book, I just said, you know what, my colored world, it's been a colorful story. It's been a colorful journey. And not just related to race, but just the experiences. Very colorful and dramatic.
So it has multiple meanings.
Absolutely, yes.
Wow, okay. And who would you say is your targeted audience? Who are you trying to capture or reach out to with this book?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really feel like I'm not trying to capture a specific audience. I believe that anybody who is looking for more in life, who needs inspiration, who wants to go to the next level in life, whether it's a 13-year-old teenager trying to figure out where am I going to go, you know, after school, what am I going to do? And if you're a stay-at-home mom, you know, and you're kind of feeling lost in your responsibility as a mom and you feel like you're losing yourself, there's something in that book for you. If you're a 45-year-old male and maybe you feel like you're failing as a man because of financial hardships, there's something in that book for you. And regardless of race, nationality, or background, there's something in that book for everyone. I really believe that.
Okay. What would you say, how would you categorize the style or the genre of the book?
I think my book is really kind of like a mixture of an urban read, because it's very real, it's real talk. I'm really just sharing the journey of my experiences, and I'm going back as if I were back at that time. So the reader's actually going back into these moments with me, the way that I thought, the way that I viewed the world, the way that I just maybe responded to challenges. It's definitely something that people will relate to and draw to, regardless of who they are.
So you try to take them on that roller coaster and the different paths and journeys.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster. It's very
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this. I can't wait to it's officially out because I know it's going to be off the shelves. Definitely.
I really believe that it will. I think it's a very unique story. And I think that people in general are searching for more. That we live in a society where people are just tired of being tired and they're searching for more, something bigger than themselves. And I believe that this book will be a springboard for that for many people.
Okay. And well, that's actually segue into what I was going to just talk about. So what particular goals do you really have? What is your ultimate goal with this book?
My ultimate goal is really to show someone that your past and your current circumstance does not define who you are. And it really is to inspire the reader to say that, you know what, no matter what might have happened to me in my life, no matter what adversity might have been thrown my way, I can choose to become something great. I can choose to do something positive. I can choose to make an impact in society. And it will be at different levels and different ways that will manifest for us in different ways. But I think it's just getting people to get to that place where they say, you know what, there's more and there's better. There definitely is.
And maybe finding, that's where the searching comes in, and they're going to find what that more and better is to
exactly.
each
When you discover that, and when you discover that you're worth it, that you deserve it, then you can really succeed in life. And by success, I don't mean material possessions. I'm talking about knowing who you are and what you're capable of and what your purpose is. And I think that's what most people are looking for today.
And what is your purpose?
Good question. I think my purpose is really to, it's a lot to kind of encapsulate, but I really think my purpose is to share my story, to show that the grace of God exists and it's available to not just me, but to anybody who wants it.
Okay.
I really believe that's a big part of my purpose.
Wow. And I'm sure this book is definitely going to be able to share that with many more people than you can just actually talk to on one-to-one, right?
I believe so, yeah. I really believe it's going to reach places that's really going beyond what I can imagine.
Wow. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you.
Definitely. And I'll just ask you too, what inspired you to write this book? Is anything, a particular story outside of just the professor? And as you were going along in the journey of writing it, since it was a time frame gap, were there any situations or any people in place that really just, help you get to that next level?
Absolutely. I think when I look back, there were different people who played a major role in my life that were kind of like angels. God sent them in different seasons. I mean, I think back in the mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and I met my daddy Nate. I call him my daddy Nate. He was a friend of the family, but he became my dad. And meeting him in the midst of a crack epidemic in a very poverty stricken environment, he looked out for me. He was a protector, and he was big, and he was black and bulky, and he was a freedom fighter, and he would go around in the neighborhood and watch out for all of the youth. But he looked out for this little white girl that was just in the midst of all of this here. And
God always sends somebody.
Yeah, God always sends somebody. And then my mentor as a young woman, as I was in college, my mentor Alan Plummer, meeting him played such a significant role in my faith and my transition of becoming an entrepreneur, and just so many different things that I had not seen for myself, but that God used these people to help me get to another level in life. And so I feel that if I can do that for someone, to play a small part of a role like that, to inspire someone, that would bless my heart tremendously.
Wow. Definitely looking forward to reading from beginning to end of this book. If you could sum up your book in 1 or 2 words or a statement, how would you do that?
It's one of those can't put me downers. It's one of those, yes. It's very riveting.
Yes, definitely. And I believe you have a event coming up or a book release. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this event. I wanted to do something different outside of just having a regular book signing. I wanted to encapsulate just everything that I represent, which is my faith, which is family and friends, which is relationships, and which is providing inspiration to people. And so I'm going to have a book signing at the Radisson Hotel, which is in Queens, New York, on Saturday, October 4th from 2 to 6 p.m. And this is going to be a networking party. It's going to, there'll be live performances. I will actually be performing for the first time ever.
Wow.
Yes.
What are you going to be doing?
I have a song called Wow. And
I just said, wow.
Yeah, and the reason,
I knew it.
I just feel like when someone reads the book and when I look at it now, it's like, all I can say is wow, that God is just a wow God. The way that he can use us, the way that he can give us hope, and the way that he's just wow. And
all you can say.
That's all I can say.
You heard it from Jessica herself. Wow. I think that
all I can
encapsulates
say.
everything.
It does.
Wow. Wow to you. Kudos to you for taking on this tremendous journey and this tremendous it's going to change lives. I'm sure it is. So congratulations to you. I'm very happy for you, and I'm very excited. And you said October 4th?
Saturday, October 4th.
Saturday, October
Queens,
4th,
New York,
people.
at the
Queens,
Radisson.
New York, at the Radisson Hotel. Can't wait.
Thank you.
You're welcome.